What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Dylan.
I'm Jalen.
What we got today?
Today we got our review of The Crow.
Yep. 2024 is gonna be a spoiler review.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just hop right in, cause I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah.
It's fresh in our minds. We just got out of the theater, and I'm gonna just go ahead and say straight up, this movie was kind of meh.
Yeah, it was mid.
Kind of mid, if I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the worst thing ever,
Right.
but it wasn't the best thing either.
Like it could have been better.
It definitely could have been better. It definitely could have been better. But you know what? I want to start off by saying I was kind of expecting this movie. Well, first of all, I was expecting this movie to obviously be different from what we know.
Yeah.
From Brandon Lee's, Crow, right?
Right.
So I went in what I thought with the right expectations.
Yeah.
Like it was gonna be its own thing, not necessarily a retelling, but just kind of like just a complete remake,
whole other
right?
outlook.
I was also expecting this movie to be very action packed. I gotta say, it wasn't that action packed. Like it wasn't much action in it, like at all.
Yeah.
Like literally, I think it was less than 5 action scenes.
Yeah, and they were all toward the end. So you gotta wait.
Like, I'm thinking cause besides the one at the end, there was really only like 1 or 2 other ones after that I could think of. Maybe 3, but they were like small.
Yeah,
like, just kind of quick little moments. It was kind of right.
Right.
And I was let down. I was let down. I don't know. Usually I go in with the right expectations, but this one still kind of let me down. And I think it's because of the trailers.
Yeah.
The trailers made it seem like it was going to be more action packed
than what it was, and I can understand that. I can understand that.
Like the best one was obviously the one in I guess the finale, which was cool, but it wasn't anything super crazy. Like it was good, but it wasn't I don't know. I just feel like it could have been more.
I feel like they played it safe with a lot of the action scenes. Like you said, it wasn't like on no John Wick level. And the trailers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not that I thought that it was gonna be like that, but I did think that it was gonna be like a little up there, to be like, okay, he doing his thing or whatever.
Oh, so you was expecting that?
Not like I know that something similar where you see him fighting a little more. You see it wasn't really.
Yeah. I don't know. I wasn't expecting. I don't know. I was just expecting more of what we got. I feel like how they did it was fine. It was just it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And there's one main particular reason why that we'll get into. Matter of fact, we can get into it now actually. That I kind of had a problem with. That whole basically first half of the movie, I didn't really like.
No. Yeah.
I didn't like that much. From the very beginning, basically, right? Old girl, I forget her name. Shelly? Yeah, Shelly, and his name is Eric? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, the way it starts off, first of all, is they start off with a flashback or something like that. With him and some horse that had ran over a fence and got stuck and it was bleeding and shit. I guess it died. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, that was kind of random. It didn't really mean anything towards the story or movie whatsoever, other than it just showed that in the crows. I guess it inspired some of his tattoos. It was showing the wire, shit like that. But it really served no real purpose to me, right? Then fast forward, he's grown and he's in a rehab center. Mm-hmm. So it's it skips I feel like a major timeline or whatever of his backstory, and he's just here in rehab, right? And then Shelly, she has this whole situation I guess going on with her where some people are trying to find her or whatever, so she runs away, and I guess she figures, if I go to rehab, and get locked up there, maybe they won't find me and I'll be good. right? And then it feels like she was only there for like maybe days, maybe a week at most.
Yeah.
And they just kind of start liking each other, and then they run away and then fall in love.
Right.
That to me that was like basically the whole first half. Like, I felt like they spent way too much time on that, for one.
Yeah.
And then for two, I didn't like the way they did it. Like, they was in rehab and they just fell in love. Like, he could have escaped this whole time, but I guess he was like, nah, I'm good. I want to stay here.
Right.
Like, because the way they escaped was so easy. He knew where to escape, how to escape. So it was like, there's a bunch of things that just didn't make sense about that. And then, like, they're in love. That for an undisclosed amount of time too, right? We don't know if that was days, weeks, or months, years. I don't feel like it was years worth of time.
But it
I don't
probably
even feel like it was months. Weeks at the most. But even then, it's
maybe like
it was hard to tell during the movie.
Yeah, I will say it was a little. One thing that I said was that it felt like there was a lot of like open-endedness. Like they wanted you to kind of infer like what was happening or like seeing it. And I agree. Like, I feel like the way that they kind of showed their love, to me personally, it felt like it was just like a vulnerable connection between the two. Like, it wasn't like a pure,
I think I
like love, you know, like
it was kind of like a heat of the moment.
Yeah, because they kind of had that instant, look and stuff like that when they were in the rehab and stuff. So it was like, okay, well, they're going with the love at first sight kind of thing. But at the same time, some of the actions that they did afterward, like they pretty much was just like going to parties, doing drugs, and it was like
other
that
thing too.
That to me, like, it's not. I don't know.
It was really weird how they did it too, because it's like I remember thinking throughout the movie, especially that first half, I was like, okay, so somebody's hunting her, and somebody killed her friend. We skipped over that.
Oh,
killed her friend. Yeah. And she knew it because she was on the phone kind of when it happened. So even if she didn't know then and there that she had died, she knew that
something
was probably
was up.
happening.
Right, yeah.
So that's why she ran away. So she knew that these people were coming after her. And once she goes into that rehab and then finds him and falls in love and shit, it's almost like she just kind of like forgot about all of that, or just kind of like just didn't care about any of that. That was the vibe I was kind of getting from her. It never felt like she was really scared of anything. Like, it felt like she thought she was all good and like,
or like she wanted to forget about it.
Eventually it came back.
Right. So it was like, I don't know.
But during that period of time where she met him and they was in rehab and they ran away and was falling in love and partying and all this, and it was like, you're doing all of that, but it's like, well, these people are still hunting you.
Right. And
I don't know, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I don't even think she left town.
No, she didn't. They did it. They were just moving around, basically, and just, partying,
which was stupid.
Being with random people that they just met, or, again, with the timeline thing, maybe it was a few months, or at most, maybe like 2.
Man, it was...
But like, it still wasn't enough time for where it was like this occurrence happened and it was still fresh enough for her. It was still fresh for you to know people are after you.
You would have thought she would have been more like closer to like a Enemy of the State in the Will Smith movie, like sort of like that, where she's kind of on the run and she's kind of. That was kind of a random movie, but. But this is the first thing that popped in my head when I was thinking on a run type thing. But I mean more so in the sense of like she's on a run and people are after her. I would have expected her to be more like, I don't know, paranoid.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Something like that. They're watching me or they're chasing me.
But instead she was
she's just out partying and shit. Carefree and just kind of like whatever. And then it's like, it was people that they was partying with, and I guess this tattoo guy, I don't know when they fucking met him and how they even got close enough to him to even, like, cause he helped him out and gave him a gun, and it was like, I don't even know where that came from, that just happened.
Right.
And, I don't know, that was just really weird to me.
Yeah.
And by the way, I couldn't tell if we were in America or if we were somewhere in Europe. I kept thinking that, or questioning that in the movie.
I was also questioning, like, where is this supposed to be? I think that it was, like,
did they know where they wanted this to be? Like, cause there was a early shot in there where, cause I remember thinking it looked like Gotham. Like specifically in the last Batman movie. And they shot some of that in Chicago again. But I remember thinking, like, it reminds me of someplace like Chicago or New York. Like it was a shot of, like, the train. But then there was other things about it that was like, is this in Europe somewhere? And then there's people with accents and shit. I'm like,
that was another thing. I'm like, where?
Like, he was in rehab, so I was like, and it was the people that was like picking on him. They had accents. Yeah. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Which makes me think, like, maybe they were trying to create their own type of, like, city or world or whatever. But if that's the case, they should have.
It was just kind of. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Like, too many questionable things with that.
Yeah.
I really feel like they should have spent less time on that. Or you know what? I'm not even gonna say that. If they wanted to do a backstory, do it right. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna have me coming out saying shit like they should have just not done that at all. And you know, and I don't want to compare this. And so far, I haven't. Even when I was watching the movie, I haven't compared it to Brandon Lee's version, but you know, for the sake of this review, I must maybe compare it here and there. But in that one, they didn't even like really do any of their stuff. They just did like flashbacks, you know, every now and then throughout the movie, but they didn't even spend time on that. And they just went straight into like the Crow, basically. And it worked, right? And it left some of the story, you know, up into interpretation, like you were kind of saying. But the difference is like you can. Like, with the way he was acting, Brandon Lee's Crow, the way he was acting and the way he kind of reacted to certain things about when he would get flashes from his past and, like, the ring that he gave her and whatever else, right? You know, you could tell that he was really, you know, he really loved her. And then the flashbacks. And, you know, just, like I said, up into interpretation, right? Like, it makes you can come up with, like, your own thing.
But in
this case, it goes through it, so it's like you see what's happening, and what you see, it doesn't feel like it was actually you know, worth it, or like it was really that intense.
Yeah, cause to add on to that, I feel like with Brandon Lee's Crow, you could tell that this was a couple that had been together for years. Right. That they had built up a bond that was stronger than just kind of like, to me it felt like a honeymoon phase. You know, when they say like, oh, you know, you get together first and you know everything that you do with each other is just like googly eyes, rose tints. And that's kind of what it felt like in this Crow. Like I felt like the bond wasn't all the way built. They were just two people who had just met and they were learning about each other. And honestly, the way that they were learning, this may just be my opinion, but it really wasn't that much that they were.
Not to say that they loved him
but they
that much, and for him to go
this far, right? But the difference in Brandon Lee's is that you can tell, you can interfere that, you know, this they have a place together, they have memories together, not just, you know, like, you know, like they like, built a home together.
Like, and like I mentioned the ring and the fact that he had proposed to her in that version of it, and it's like, well, obviously from that you could tell that they spent enough time together for him to propose, meaning he knew he was going to spend the rest of his life with her type thing, right? And this one, they didn't spend nearly enough time for him to even get to the point to want to marry her.
Right, to even think about
it. They didn't even get nowhere near that far. So it's like...
So, and like...
I just didn't like... The way they did that whole first half, it could have been... It could have been better. Yeah. And unfortunately, what I was getting to was the fact that they did the first half the way that they did it. We actually didn't start getting anything Crow related until like the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the way that happened was also questionable. It was just like, because he died and then he went to like this afterlife train station.
Right.
Something, right? And it's this guy here, and I kid you not, that whole section was maybe like 60 seconds, possibly 2 minutes, it felt like. And the guy just gave like a quick little exposition. Not even really exposition, but basically exposition. And then sends him, Eric, back to life to like go after them. And I'm like, well, what? Like, I don't know what are you telling me right now?
Like,
why? What's going on? What is this all about?
Exactly. He basically was just like, yeah, y'all, if y'all dead now, your girlfriend, she gonna go to a dark place. But if you don't kill these people that's after her, because the ringleader is a dark person, then you might never get her back. And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, and I don't even think I could be wrong, but I don't even think he told him that on the first time. He said something about, he mentioned something about, I think, like,
you're right.
along the lines of,
you're right.
I guess the crows and this whole death thing. I don't know. I forget exactly what he said, but I remember he sent him back to life.
Yeah.
And then he died and came back. And then that's when he kind of told him a little bit.
You're right. Yeah. So
but it still wasn't like, it wasn't much. And then he didn't even really question him about anything.
He just went with it,
Yeah, right. And then, I don't know, I had a problem with that. But then he died again and came back a third time. Mm. And that's around like the third act, or like around the third act of the movie. Yeah. Right? And I gotta say, he didn't really become the Crow until the third act.
Yeah.
Like that whole time, he wasn't the Crow.
Yeah.
And even then, after that, it didn't really feel like he was that much of the Crow. Like, he came back, and I guess he was supposed to be technically fully the Crow. And he could heal and all that. And, like, they didn't really do anything with the crows. They didn't explain none of that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, from watching the trailers, that not only was it going to be action-packed, but I thought that they was going to go more into, like, the lore and everything like that, too.
Right.
Because I don't know anything about the comics. Mm-hmm. I didn't see any of the sequels to the older movies, so I don't know if they went into it or not. The only one I watched was the Brandon Lee version.
Right.
And that didn't go into any of the lore of it, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking that they were going to do that. But they didn't.
Right, which I feel like they had the potential to. Like, there was like a good guideline. I do feel like that. Like, they had a decent guideline that they could have worked with, and they could have just taken their times with some things, and some things they didn't necessarily need to do it in the way that they did it. Like, the relationship, like, they could have done that a little bit differently, but it was a lot of things, like I say, that was like open interpretation that too many open interpretations that could be put onto it that may not be what the writers or the director really wanted. Yeah. So,
like, who controls these crows?
Right.
Where are they coming from? That was in the afterlife, he said he didn't control. He said it wasn't up to him. So, like,
where did he come from? Like, and then we didn't get to this yet, but the Victor dude, the
enemy.
Yeah, the enemy.
That was his name, Victor.
I think what they did, it was different. It also kind of had the same issue of, like, if they would have explained where he came from, I think it would have been a little better. But I kind of liked that they kind of went the route of, like, adding a little bit more of a supernatural feel to him, like, the demon thing, like,
I like that too.
But it was also just kind of like,
or at least what it could have been.
Right, what it could have been. But I also didn't, because it was just kind of like you didn't go into it as much as you could have.
I would change that could have to should have.
Should have, because it was like, okay, you got this dude, he's a very rich, powerful individual, but he's actually this, like, demon person with powers, who's controlling people.
He said he made some deal, I guess, with the
devil,
he
or made
demons,
a deal
or
something, but it's like, okay,
they didn't really go into that much.
Right.
What did he make it about?
Right.
why does he have to send these innocents to
right?
whatever?
You know, like is it what is he doing it for? Is it a part of the bargain? Is it his life force?
I mean,
whatever,
it was a part of the bargain. That was pretty. That was one of the few things that I understood from it. But like, it was just still was like I kind of wish that they went more into that.
Yeah.
And like maybe showed more of like the higher beings or whatever.
Yeah, instead of just
on both ends of like the crow and like
yeah,
whoever people he was dealing with. I don't know if he said I can't remember if he said the devil or just a demon, but whatever it was, right? I just wish they went more into that. Yeah. The Lord, basically, right? But they did, right? Yeah. So that was a problem for me. Now another major issue that we was talking about actually. Yeah, when we left the movie theater was how it ended.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. It didn't make sense at all. In fact, it's kind of a plot hole, I think.
Yeah. I said it kind of brought a little bit of confusion, but confusion isn't necessarily the right word. Like, I feel like the way that they ended it, it kind of like cancels out some of the things that Eric did before that happened. So it was like, well, what was the point of you doing this if you were if this was just gonna happen, you know? Or like, what does this mean for this person now? Or what does this mean, you know, like, is this person gonna be dead? Is this connection or all of this stuff that you did before that happened, like, is it still gonna stand?
How were they able to wake up like that?
Right.
First of all, in that place next to each other.
Yeah.
Because her body wasn't there at first.
Yeah.
He obviously woke up and left and did a bunch of shit as the crow and killed a bunch of people.
Right.
So you telling me like did they go back in time? Like,
right. And that's
if they went back in time, then all the people that he killed, are they still dead?
Right.
And how? Or are they alive?
Right. You know.
Like what is that? And then the dude that was in the afterlife, he was in the real world as a paramedic.
Right. So it's like, well, what the heck, you know?
And I guess Eric is
there
took his
now.
place
as
whatever he's supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. It just it didn't make sense. There was too many questions.
Yeah.
There was too many questions. They left it too open-ended the way it ended, and they just could have done more and could have done better. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Now I will say, because that was like that was my major negatives, right? Yeah. I will say, because we've been like talking about the negatives a whole lot more. I want to talk about some of the positives, right? The few that they had. We did mention like the action scene and the finale. I thought was pretty dope for the most part. Yeah. I like the gore of it, the rated R. It was some pretty wild deaths in here. Yeah. Like it was one dude that like he pushed the blade or the katana through his mouth. Yeah, yeah. And like chopped off his jaw or some shit like that.
That was pretty nice.
It was another moment earlier on where like it wasn't like the most gruesome, but it was like damn. Yeah. Like it was remember he was in that car and like the driver, I think it was. He got shot and a bullet went through his cheeks
went through his cheek and you know. Then he got ran over by a truck. It was like, what the heck?
Like, damn, and he felt all of that.
All of it.
Although I'm kind of curious, like how. No, actually, no, never mind. I know how. Because I was about to ask like how he didn't die from it. Because I know like there was times where he would die, and then go back, and then he would be sent back to life, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, why didn't he just die from that time again and then be sent back, right? But I think he was. I don't know, whatever. I ain't gonna question that no more. But yeah, it was. I like the gruesomeness. Yeah. I wish we got more of it, and I just wish we got more action in general. Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't go in a route of he just knows how to fight and shit. Like he just knows martial arts and shit. Like it didn't quite go that route. Because then it would have been like, well, where the hell did you learn that from? Right. So I like that in the few action scenes that we did get, it felt like he was still him. Mm. right? Like when he first woke up and that cop showed up, right?
Yeah.
And shot him and he was fighting that dude. And I was like, it wasn't like damn, he Bruce Lee now. Like,
right, yeah.
Or he Jackie Chan, like he just over there doing martial arts and shit. It's like, no, he's still getting kind of messed up. Mm-hmm. And he probably would have died, but more than a few times, really, if he didn't have that, the healing factor.
Yeah.
From being a crow. So it's like, I did enjoy that. It felt a little bit more realistic.
Okay.
And then I liked him as the crow. Like, I did like him in the role.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård. I did like him in the role. FKA Twigs, that's her name?
FKA, yeah.
I was cool with her as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she kind of... She didn't wow me, but a lot of that is because of I didn't really like that first half, like how they handled that. So I can't really say I loved it and how they handled her character. But I didn't necessarily have a problem with her either. So I liked them too for the most part. The dude that played the bad Victor, that played the bad dude, I liked him. He was good in his role. Mm-hmm. They could have done more with him. And I mean, I guess that's really the main ones. Like, other than them three, like everybody else was kind of just forgettable. Yeah. Like, even the dude in the afterlife, it was like the way he was delivering the lines. It was like, I don't know where you found this dude.
Like, is he British? Is he?
It feels like you're reading a script.
Yeah, he was.
Like, and that's why I called it exposition. Like, it felt like he was just giving us exposition real quick. So I mean, I didn't really care about him. Yeah. But the main stuff is Bill Skarsgård as the Crow. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, in Brandon Lee's version, we cared about him as the Crow. Yeah. He wasn't the only one. I did like the cop and I liked the little girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't. I think there might have been only 3 in that one too. Yeah. I mean, I like the villain and everything too, but I wouldn't say I really care about
right,
it. But,
right. I know. I know what you mean.
And so I did like those 3. I don't think it was really anybody else. So I guess it was them 3 and a 2, right? Yeah. But for the most part, you liked Brandon Lee as
the Crow.
And I like Bill Skarsgård. I just wish that they did more, like in general. Yeah. Like he could have been more of the Crow. Yeah. They didn't really also give him too many, like, I feel like they didn't give him as many abilities as Brandon Lee's. Like,
just the...
He was able to see through the crows. They didn't really showcase that at all in this.
That is true. He didn't really do a lot other than the healing factor. Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if he had, I was going to say maybe he had, like, a enhanced strength or something like that, but maybe not.
It seemed a little bit like on that last one, like it still felt like he was him and his fighting.
I meant Brandon Lee's version.
Oh, never mind.
I didn't get that from.
It wasn't like a super enhanced, but maybe it was just like a more of an awareness. Man, I don't think that was enhanced, like a physical enhancement, but
yeah, I didn't get nothing. But it was just like the healing factor.
It was just that was the only thing. To
but
me, I feel like it definitely had a lot of potential. I do like that they at least attempted to try and give somewhat of a look into, Eric and Shelley's relationship. Although the way that they did, in my opinion, was it could have been better.
I appreciate that.
But, I do enjoy that. I also enjoyed the fact that, again, like, they showed a little bit more of the afterlife, for the Crow, something that we didn't really see in Brandon Lee's. They also made, like, the enemy, like, this demon instead of just, like, this really bad guy that was a human, I did like that. I did enjoy that.
They were on some weird shit, too, in
it
in
was,
that version.
But it wasn't.
I remember, like, his... I don't know if they were supposed to be real siblings or not. But remember,
yeah.
She would take people's eyes, and I think true. She was like burning it for some type of something ritual, something. But it didn't. I don't think it ever actually did anything from what
it didn't. I think it was just a sort of.
I think it was just them being on some weird shit.
Yeah, it was just
fine.
Weird.
It's cool. Right. It's okay. Right. I don't need the villain to have powers, but it was just cool that he went up against somebody who somewhat had abilities, but he still wasn't really a threat. Like.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, why didn't he just immediately kill him right when he showed up? Like that's the only, I guess, if you want to compare it to John Wick, that's the only thing where I would have been like, he should have John Wicked him. Like, you know how John in the first movie, when he found the dude at the end, he walked up to him in slow motion and then immediately killed him.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you just immediately stab old boy? Like, I wouldn't have spoke to him. Like, he told him to turn around and he was letting him talk to him and all this shit. I'm like, well, you are the dude. One of the dudes earlier told you already that, you know, he can like get in your mind or head and shit like that, right? So I'm like, why are you choosing to talk to him?
No talking. Just
I mean, I can maybe understand if you wanted to say like a little slick line here and there, but, you know, I mean, and then kill him right away. But you didn't do that. So like, why did you?
I don't know.
You gave him a chance to almost kill you, I guess.
Well, that's one of those things in a movie that just.
And then the other thing too is like the dude seemed like he knew about the crow, like he knew about that sort of ability. Or that, so like,
I did forget that.
How did he know that? Like how did he seem to know about that? Like I know he lived for a long time. I think that's what they said.
Yeah, he mentioned that in the movie too. That he's been here for a long time or whatever. But that was one of those things that I wish that they would have gone more into, but I like that they added that element into it. I did appreciate that, and also to like you said, Bill, you know, as the Crow, I wish that we would have seen a little bit more of him for more of the movie as the Crow.
He was really only the Crow for the last act,
right? And you know, I like Bill Skarsgård as an actor. Like, I feel like that is just, he does really well doing, you know, scary horror movies. But, you know,
it sucks that
just,
like
I just think that the way they went.
I feel like he's not really. I haven't seen a whole lot from him, but I know he's been in some things here and there. Yeah. But I don't think that they've been hugely successful outside of it. And I mean, like specifically big budget movies.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right, and
I know what you mean.
And like I think he has enough where he could be a leading man, he could be a huge star and everything like that, right? And he is to a certain degree, but it's like I just feel like they're not really giving him good stuff, or maybe he's just not taking good stuff. Because like if I would have, I don't know, if I would have saw the script to this, I might have been a little,
It could have been a little bit of both. Like I do remember, like,
but at the same time, like it's the Crow, so it's like.
How could you? Yeah, how could you not?
I get to play the Crows, right?
Right.
So I just feel like they really should have started this off stronger with a bang. Like, and I feel like certain movies and things like that, or just period, I guess in general, just they're not doing that. Like they're starting off too light.
Yeah.
Like if you're not grasping us within the first movie, you're not getting a sequel.
Yeah.
So and don't wait till the third act until you finally actually become the Crow.
Yeah. Because
we're here to see the Crow.
Right.
Right. So why are you not showing us that? And that was one of the. I know I might go off a little bit on the tangent here, but that was kind of one of the issues that I was foreseeing with Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Now, obviously, that had an issue that you couldn't really quite fix in a good way because of Chadwick Boseman's death. But I remember thinking like, okay, if they're not gonna recast him and nobody's a Black Panther right now, then we probably won't have an actual Black Panther in this movie until like the third act. And that's exactly what happened. We didn't get Shuri as a Black Panther until the third act. So most of that movie, we never saw a Black Panther. And to me, that was one of the problems because it's like the title screen is Black Panther. I'm here to see Black Panther. I'm here to see the character or whoever it is that's on the title screen. I'm here to see them. And if I'm not seeing them until maybe the last 20 or 30 minutes, well, that's a problem for me. Like I'm not going to see Blade and Blade's not Blade until the last act. Yeah. I'm not going to see Superman or Batman and they're not Superman and Batman until the last act.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
And that's a problem for me.
But again, that one was a different situation just because we know, like you said, Chadwick Boseman and the way
that was kind of like the first thing that kind of
like, and I get it, but with this one, they definitely had I feel like they had a good basis where they could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
And if they would have done things a little bit differently and kind of balanced some things out a little bit more, this probably would have been received a lot better.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
Again, like I do love Bill Skarsgård again. Like I remember seeing him not only as it, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen him on Grove. It was a show on Netflix that was really good. Like, and that was the first kind of thing that I've seen him as. It was out there, but he's kind of one of those actors where he can play a crazy, kind of out there character and it be received well. And I do think that, again, like FKA Twigs,
I'm not really
don't even
familiar
think
with
she's
anything from her, to be honest. Like, so
I know that she's a musician as well. I don't think I've listened to a lot of her things either. Maybe she's been on something like with an artist, but I can't think of anything right now. But to see her acting, like I think that she did pretty good. Like I don't think that she, like if this is something she wants to pursue more, definitely go for it. But
yeah, I definitely feel like what like in terms of acting, she was fine. Yeah. It was just what they gave her.
Exactly.
Like,
it was she can't necessarily control
the story to be.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like it didn't come across as cringe. I don't think.
No. I think that she did. I think
the only one that sort of that had a little bit of that feel was a dude that was in the afterlife.
Yeah.
When he was saying his lines when we first met him, I was like, this just feels off. Like an NPC giving us exposition. Like it doesn't feel like I don't. Who are you? Like,
what is your name? Where did you come from?
Like, what are you telling me
thankfully,
right
he
now?
didn't really. He wasn't in the movie as much, So I guess that's the plus,
But that's our thoughts. Let's go ahead and grade this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and give it. There was some things here and there that I did like.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, most of it I did have issues with, and I think that means I gotta at best give it a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. I was gonna give it like a 2.5. Again,
I don't know. Maybe I gotta see it again in the room. Like it was, like I said, it was things I liked, and it was things that I really wanted to like more, but they just didn't follow through with it.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, it's easily
gotta say how it is. Like I think I might enjoy this if I caught it on like I don't know. We don't really watch TV like that, but
if it came on,
if I caught it on TV one night and I was like I don't know what I want to watch.
Yeah.
I just watch it. Cool, whatever. I might watch it, But like, I don't think I would really watch this again too many times.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that kind of sucks because I really do like The Crow, or at least the original Crow. I really do like The Crow, and I feel like it should get more love. But it's just, and I don't even, and we never mentioned this too, but I don't know what happened with the Jason Momoa thing. I feel like Jason Momoa would have been a really good Crow, and I saw like the little, I don't know if it was from an audition or what, or promotional something, I don't know, but I saw like what he looked like in the makeup and some shots and things that they were doing with him, and it felt like they were going or leaning a little bit more to like the Brandon Lee version of it, where it was more gothic and more dark and that type of vibe to it, right? That noir type dark vibe to it, but
maybe
I didn't really get that from this much.
Like the scenery was dark a little, like it wasn't as dark, but it was kind of it had those dark colors, but it didn't bring that darkness in until like the end. And even
it's
then
it's all about the vibe and the way that you do like like you create the world around the characters. Did it have to be like that? No, but I would have liked if it was a little bit more. But it is what it is. So yeah, that's what we think about the movie. 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Yeah. I'm curious what y'all think about this movie. I know it ain't really been getting a lot of reception, so a lot of y'all probably ain't liking this movie either. But I really want to know kind of what y'all thought about the movie. And also, if any of y'all actually read any of the comics, like, was this accurate in any kind of way to that? Mm-hmm. Or was it like the Brandon Lee version accurate at all? Or was neither of them accurate? Like, and if y'all had like some more information on things, maybe we missed something. I don't know. Like but I would like to know a little bit more of like the lore and like how things work, and like whether or not this actually was accurate or true to some of the source material. So yeah, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure y'all give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe if you like the video, and hit that notification bell for all notifications. Till next time, y'all.
Peace out.